Thursday, July 28th, 2022, and it appears as though Senator Chuck Schumer might not be the useless dinosaur I've been accusing him of being. It appears as though he's got Joe Manchin to agree to basically what is a repackaged Build Back Better deal that Manchin and Sinema squashed last fall, is it? Um, but they've renamed it the Inflation Recovery Act or something. So they've taken away Build Back Better and replaced it with something more immediate, which is good. Now, it still has to get the votes. They're not going to vote on it until next week. I would certainly hope that the Democrats in the Senate don't squander this opportunity to pass some pretty monumental legislation that it increases taxes on the wealthy, provides tax credits and funding to fight climate change. There's a whole economic theory about whether or not it will help or hinder jobs, but because of the corporate tax implications. And the problem is corporations are going to put profit over people every time. So whether you give them a tax break or a tax increase, whatever money they're going to get, they're going to put in their own pockets. So corporations at this point have more legal rights than women do. So it's you kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. But it doesn't make any sense that corporations get away with paying zero taxes and breaking in billions in profits. That makes zero sense in any economy. So we'll see if we can get this passed. Apparently, it was a surprise to most of the many of the Democratic Senate members. Elizabeth Warren said something like, "Well, at least we have the word climate in it." So I hope this doesn't become a big giant clusterfuck of I want more. This is a pretty monumental piece of legislation as it is. So let's just get this through. And the fact that it comes on sort of a backhanded deal that Schumer made with McConnell about not doing a reconciliation party line vote for this in order to get the CHIPS bill passed last week. So the fact that it kind of fucks over Mitch McConnell is kind of nice. Not to be a dick or have a little schadenfreude, but it's about time he gets a little taste of his own medicine. We've all been accusing the Democrats of not playing hard enough for too long. At least this shows a glimmer of hope that they are willing to play the game a little harder than they have been, and not assume that Republicans are going to act on good faith, because they don't ever. Again, I'm not going to jump up and down until the sucker actually passes, and Biden signs it, which will be a nice feather in the cap. It would be nice if there were some tax reductions for lower income people. I don't see a lot of that in this, but that's not going to make a difference for the midterms anyway, because no one will see those reductions until next year. So that's good news, I think. So at least the week is looking up a little bit. I did notice today on The View, Amy Farrah Fowler Griffin, Amy Alyssa Farrah Fowler Griffin. I can't ever get all of her names right. I never remember what her name is to begin with. I just know it's Farrah Fowler Griffin, whatever. Amy Alyssa Farrah Fowler Griffin was a little disingenuous about talking about how we're in a recession. She knows damn well that the definition of a recession is 2 quarters of deep and pervasive decline, the decline in Q2 of the GDP was less than 1%. That's not a deep and pervasive decline. And we have a strong jobs market at the moment. So I think that she's being a little disingenuous, and I love the fact that Sonny Austin called her right out on it, and said, that nothing about a Republican tax plan is ever going to be good for the American people. And that got into the whole, is it going to create jobs or lose jobs? I think that there is enough profit still going on in corporate America that a little bit of extra taxes aren't going to uh, bring on any kind of widespread layoffs. There's too many open positions in corporate America that they can't fill. That uh, they don't really have the luxury of massive layoffs to begin with, because they're already working on a reduced workforce. So I think all signs are pointing to good on this, as long as we can get fucking cinema on board, and the rest of the Democrats don't, pull a wank job and be like, I want more. Because this, if we can, the gas prices are coming down, and if we can sort of turn the economy around enough in Q3, it takes away all of the GOP talking points for the midterms, and puts a lot of feathers in the caps of the Democrats. And I hope that their messaging is, if you want more of this type of legislation, if you want more help, extended credits for the Affordable Health Care Act. Just don't call it Obamacare, because the people on the Affordable Health Care Act that depend on the Affordable Health Care Act want to abolish Obamacare, even though they don't realize that abolishing Obamacare gets rid of their own health care. So just keep calling it the Affordable Health Care Act, or Affordable Care Act, whatever it's called. ACA, Affordable Care Act. Anyway, so there's some reasons to feel a little bit hopeful this week, but let's check in next week and see if anything comes to fruition. Not to be a Debbie Downer. Wah, wah.